Oh, here we go. Lunch with Baum. Back at it. I want to say a happy Teacher Appreciation Day to all of my fellow teachers and coaches out there. You inspire me every single day working and molding the minds of the American youth. That's my topic today is Teacher Appreciation Day. All right. Real quick, if you're watching live, drop a 1. You're watching the replay, drop a 2. And if this is the first time, who's this crazy guy, Lunch with Baum? Anyway, drop a 3 down below. I'd love to connect with you. My name is Frank Baumholtz. Been a high school strength coach and PE teacher for 21 years. Run my own gym, MVP. And I did these a while back. I just started doing them. You know, if I could make a connection with one kid or one client or one person a day or even a week or even a year, that if that one light bulb comes on, then it became the meaning and the value really hits home. And I think that's the biggest thing with a lot of folks with whatever you do. You know, Teacher Appreciation today, but you know, whether you're a doctor or a plumber or an architect, whatever you do, you have passion of there's something that connected you to that. Maybe it was someone, maybe it was something. And, you know, for me, if you have a teacher that inspired you, reach out. I actually sent a message to Coach Matthias and, you know, just said, hey, he instilled so many life values in me that, you know, an opportunity to say thanks. You know, we don't get it enough and we don't do it enough. So, you know, just reaching out with a smile or a handshake or even telling people thank you. You know, for me, the crazy thing is I have no idea how my kids are going to turn out. My clients are going to turn out. You know, I get an opportunity to give them the tools and teach them the steps in order to progress. And then they have to do it. You know, I always say I'm going to reach my hand out. Right? I got my Insta Live going. I got my Facebook Live going. Right? I can reach my hand out to them. I can dangle the rope over the edge. And at some point, they're going to have to grab on and put the work in. You know, nothing is free. You know, nothing is fair. Life sure as heck ain't fair. Right? You've got to put the work in. It's the same thing when I talk to my clients about nutrition or the workouts or mindset or any type of behavioral change. You have to put the work in. Right? So, you know, the crazy thing is that, well, that's, who's this, Wiley? That is unfortunate for you, my friend, because 99.9% of the people, have a very positive effect. Anyway, but, you know, the biggest thing is that, you know, I have no idea how they're going to turn out. Here's a funny story. I had one of my students who happened to be a very challenging student over the years, and I ran back into him a while back, and he ends up working for a company that instills a lot of the same characteristics that I would instill in my students and athletes when I was a head baseball coach about character, work ethic, team, you know, showing up early. And the thing is, when we ran into each other, he kind of got a good chuckle, and he just said, Coach, I didn't like you when I was in high school. You know, I didn't understand why you were trying to instill some of these character traits in us. I do now. You know that you know you gotta go to work hungry and go home dirty and tired. You know, you got to have that passion and that drive and whatever that is, because you got to find it. A lot of times, when people are searching for whatever the something is, you know, they have no goal, they have no drive, they got no passion. It's very challenging. It doesn't matter if you're one of my high school students, one of the youth kids that comes into MVP, whether the adults I get a chance to work with. You know, if you have no motivation and no drive, it's very hard to get from point A to point B. You know, I always say you got to have a plan and work the plan. You know, we don't ever plan to fail. We just never have a plan in place. And then we suck. So the biggest thing, and you can go back to some of my other, just go back and search through some of my other videos, you know, about goal setting, about mindset, about nutrition, about workouts, you know, and you can devise a plan and how to get there. And that's one of the biggest things that everybody needs to do every day. So, but my biggest thing today is I wanted to give a huge shout out to all of my teacher colleagues and my coach colleagues that have an opportunity to inspire kids. Charlie, what's happening, my man? That have a chance and an opportunity to inspire people every day. You know, and I just wanted to share a few of my favorite quotes that I always I ask my students, and one of my favorite ones every day is I ask my students, what do you know? What did you learn today? Because it's your responsibility. I tell my girls, I said, it is your responsibility to define your education. You know, the things that you're learning, the things that you're doing. You know, at the end of your schooling, you have to be ready and prepared to go attack whatever you're going to do, right? And then it's our job as parents and as coaches to try to help facilitate that and push them and give them the right direction. I think one of the biggest things is kids are faced with so many options nowadays. If they're not given a little bit of guidance, you know, and headed in the right, I still want my girls to make decisions on their own, but they got to have a little bit of guidance because there's too many distractions that are out there, right? So, but that's our job as teachers and as coaches and as parents to make sure that they do that, because when they leave us, I mean, like I get my kids for 4 years. And when I'm at MVP, I might get them for a few more than that when they start with us as younger kids and they come through our program. But a lot of times we get kids for 4 years and then they're off and on to their other stuff, right? And I always tell the kids, hey, we're building life skills here. When you get under the bar and the bar gets really heavy and there's this adverse mindset that you have, that's when things get challenging. But then when you get out into the real world and all of a sudden you think back on some of those workouts. I had a young man that came into the gym yesterday and said that was the hardest workout I've ever done in my life. And but we're preparing them for what they're going to do, whether they're an athlete, whether there's a bigger picture to the whole process about being a teacher, being a coach, and making sure we're educating and molding our kids so that they're prepared for whatever the task is that they're at, whether, you know, they're a football player, baseball player, you know, life. Some of the kids are just going off to school and job and whatever, right? So, and like I mentioned, I have no idea how they're going to turn out. You know, I do have my way of doing things, and sometimes it's challenging and it's adverse to a young person, but at the same time, when they get out into the real world, they're going to have the skills in order to face whatever that they're going to face. Being on time, being accountable, you know, putting in the workmanship. You know, I always tell folks, you know, the bottom blocks, I love the bottom blocks on John Wooden's Pyramid to Success is it doesn't take any talent to do those things. You know, loyalty, friendship, industriousness. I mean, those things are, and there's more than that, but, you know, you can go drop a Google search and get the whole pyramid. But, you know, the whole point is that it takes no talent to work hard. But like I mentioned, when your teacher and your coach are sharing you skills and tools and they're dangling the rope or they're reaching their hand out and saying, hey, I'm here to help, you know, then you got to grab on. You got to grab the rope and start pulling yourself. They'll help you up, but you got to do the work too. All right. It's not this whole thing. You know, we live in this, you know, I scratch your back and you scratch your own back world right now. You got to put the work in and actually in order if you want to get something out of it. I always tell folks, you know, you get out of it what you put into it. You know, if you're only going to put in 50%, you're only going to get out 50%, you know, and then all of a sudden you get on a team and then your team expects you to perform better and to put more effort in. And the crazy thing is that you start working together more as a group. You know, if everybody puts the effort in, good things happen. I mean, that's a talk for another day. But once again, hey, I'm going to wrap this up, but I want to just once again say I appreciate all of my teacher and coach friends. If you have an opportunity, reach out. If you're a teacher, a coach, someone that motivates you, or even a friend that gives you inspiration each day, it doesn't even have to be an old teacher or coach. Reach out to them, shoot them a private message, and, you know, tell them how much you appreciate them and value them. You know, like always, if you haven't seen what we got going on at MVP, jump over to my MVP page. We got tons of stuff going on over there. And if you need, you know, a little mental checkup, you need help with your nutrition, you need to fill in the gaps where you're deficient, you need a good workout, go ahead and shoot me a private message. Whether it's at MVP Online, I got tons of stuff going on. So once again, if you value what I got going on, like and share, and drop me some of those hearts down because I appreciate that. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. Appreciate every one of you. We'll talk soon. Happy Teacher Appreciation Day to all you teachers out there.